Thanks for joining us. This is the Midday News. Squatters settling at Talai settlement at Badeli in Port Moresby are urged to comply with the court order and vacate the land. Member for Moresby South Justin Kichenko said this when addressing the settlers on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, during a protest.
Prior to an eviction exercise in a land portion located in the lower area of the Talai settlement, the settlers of that area held a protest yesterday demanding answers from their leaders to tell them why they were evicted. According to the settlers, they have been living there for 3 to 4 decades and have nowhere to go. However, when addressing the squatters during the protest, local MP Justin Kichenko said the eviction exercise took place because of a court order. Therefore, he urged the settlers to abide by the court order, as failure to do so might result in contempt of court. Kichenko said attempts were made to bring the matter further to court but were unable to proceed further with the matter because the land documents have gone missing. Meanwhile, thousands of people living in that area are now displaced, with many seeking refuge with families while others are living off the streets of Port Moresby. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
The two-day consultation workshop by the Department of Health and World Health Organization in collaboration with other stakeholders on national health research commenced on Tuesday at Lamana Hotel in Port Moresby. Deputy Secretary for Health Policy Planning Ken Wai said research is essential for informing effective policies, strategies and interventions.
Through research, the National Department of Health and World Health Organization, together with other partners, can address the high prevalence of killer diseases such as TB, malaria, HIV, maternal and infant mortality.
We have our share of problems. Our indicators of TB is on the rise. We have 40,000 cases a year, and I want us to reduce it. By research, 26 to 2030 strategic plan, it's elimination plan for TB. Need support from that in research. HIV has passed 1% in the general population. We need to reduce that. Go back to research. Malaria, 1 million cases a year. We need to reduce that. Challenges of NCDs, maternal health, child health, oral health, mental health, global warming, health security, you can name it.
Performance Monitoring and Research Manager Mana Dindi highlighted PNG's health status and national directions for health research in her presentation. She said the National Health Plan and Monitoring and Evaluation Strategic Plan recognizes the importance of health research in supporting evidence-based policy making and programming. WHO Representative Dr. Seville Husenova acknowledged all the stakeholders, with special thanks to the DFED for their funding and support.
As we all know, research is indispensable for resolving public health challenges and sound policy making, whether that is tackling infectious diseases, responding to the rise of chronic diseases, or ensuring that mothers have access to safe delivery packages. Shared vulnerability by global threats, like the recent COVID-19 pandemic, has mobilized global research efforts in support of enhancing capacity for preparedness and response, and has strengthened surveillance, rapid diagnostics, and the development of vaccines and medicines globally.
Through the challenges of collecting accurate data, a positive step is taken with the completion and launch of the new research portal on the first day of this workshop. With this, National Department of Health hopes to compile more accurate and timely data towards various health research areas. The workshop concludes today, Wednesday, 6 November. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
Sydney's Quarter Tower hosted the annual One Talks and Wine event, a night of support and celebration for the Kokoda Track Foundation's work in Papua New Guinea. The event gathered new and familiar faces to learn about KTF's impact and to raise funds for its growing initiatives. KTF Ambassador Michael Usher emceed the evening, introducing special guests and KTF Archer leaders Courtneyala Dotson and Tyneth Cussman, who shared personal stories of transformation through KTF support. Dotson said as a young Papua New Guinean woman, KTF has opened doors, not just for her, but for many who are the first in their families to go to university. The evening's fundraising auction featured unique items contributed by Billum and Billas, Lewis Knowles, Zambilla and Co., TJ Antihos, Breakfast Shirts and Bricks Distillers. Longtime supporters Dinosaur Designs and Bohm Presents were also recognized for their continued generosity. The Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion Deputy Director Peter Samuel says financial education is not just about teaching children how to count coins or develop a budget or savings plan. It is about empowering them to be responsible, informed, and proactive in their financial lives.
Thinking of financial education as planting a seed in a fertile soil. With the right nurturing, the seed will grow into a strong tree that bears fruit for many years to come. By equipping our young learners with skills and knowledge they need, we are not only preparing them for personal success, but we're also contributing to the overall economic health of our communities and at a larger extent, our nation. Financial literate individuals are more likely to save, invest wisely, make decisions that benefit not only themselves but also those around them.
Mothers, fathers and school children in Telefomin District have seen improvement in their well-being after MAF Technologies and its partner UNOPS distributed solar kits for 108 homes back in 2022. Metuk Roti, a mother of 4 from one of the communities, recalls that before receiving these solar housing kits, she struggled to do basic family chores, especially at night when having only a wood-fueled fire as a source of light. The project was initiated by the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, or DFAT, and administered by UNOPS, with MAF Technologies serving as the contractor to distribute and install solar kits in Telefomin's 6 selected communities. The initiative is part of the broader PNG electrification partnership, which aims to connect 70% of the population to power by 2030. The annual exercise One Talk Warrior, a joint training between the Australian Army and the PNG Defence Force, has concluded in Wewak. Designed to strengthen ties and improve coordination, the exercise saw Australian and PNG soldiers conduct a simulated port raid and engage in tactical role-playing as casualties and enemy forces. The exercise ended with an open day where Wewak locals could view military vehicles, boats and equipment up close, fostering community engagement with the military efforts. Residents of Kamala Harris's ancestral village in India's south are eagerly awaiting the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. The town has hung banners and posters in her honor, and residents are offering special prayers willing her to victory.
At this temple in India's south, an extra request is added to the day's prayers.
When Kamala Harris contested the vice presidential election, we all prayed for her, and she won. Now she is contesting the presidential election. We all pray for her victory again.
This is Thulacendrapuram, the village where Kamala Harris's maternal grandfather was born. In the eyes of residents here, they see the Vice President as a daughter.
It's a pride for our village. She should win.
Her face adorning banners and posters in homes and shops.
Kamala Harris is competing against Trump, but she will win. The chances of her victory are higher. We've been watching the news closely.
And her story being taught in the local school, the same one that her grandfather attended.
She has her roots here, so we are proud. She is a role model for our students, and that's why we want her to win.
Although she's never visited this village, Kamala Harris's name is inscribed in stone, a donation by her aunt to the temple on her behalf. But locals hope if she's victorious, that will change.
She should come here if she wins.
The uncertainty that some Kamala Harris supporters might be feeling right now in the US isn't present here. Thulasundarapuram locals are confident she will win, and they're ready to celebrate.
We'll burst crackers, distribute sweets, and we'll light lamps. That's how we celebrate.
Eagerly awaiting a result from halfway across the world.
One of Seoul's historic villages is introducing a curfew for tourists following an explosion of visitors. The measure aims to protect the rights of residents but has sparked debate about how to manage the explosion of tourism in South Korea. Amelia Costigan reports.
Historic Bukon Hanok in 2023, a village with a permanent population of just over 6,000 people. But from November, tourists will no longer have full access to this popular spot. A curfew will limit visitors between 5 p.m. and 10 a.m. to give locals a respite from the crowds.
Many people come and try to push open the door by grabbing the doorknob or make various noises under the window, take pictures or make various disturbances. It's quite stressful.
People come for just a day to enjoy themselves, and the noise from parties is extremely loud. There's a lot of trash in the neighbourhood, so I've had to clean in front of my house multiple times.
Narrow alleyways and traditional Korean houses give the village a distinct charm. But residents have been leaving in droves, with a 27% drop in the population over the past decade.
We're trying to make tourists come in a balanced way and not cause major inconvenience to the residents. This is the first time we're implementing such a policy in South Korea, so we'll work closely with residents to make adjustments if necessary.
But locals are divided, and questions remain about enforcement of the $110 fine for breaking the curfew.
Who would want to visit here if tourists are fined for violating the curfew? They'll leave with a bad impression of South Korea. This would negatively impact South Korean products as well.
Authorities relaxed bans on traditional homes offering accommodation in 2020, leading to a surge in corporate-run homestays, which are adding to local concerns about commercialization of the centuries-old village.
This was once a residential area, but now it's under construction. And soon, a company-operated Hanok experience facility, a Hanok hotel, will open here. Along this alley, several more of these kinds of places are continuously popping up, and some are already in operation.
A curfew trial period kicks off in November, with an official launch in March. So rowdy tourists are officially on notice.
And that ends our news update for today. Do join us at 6 p.m. for our main bulletin.